there. Good morning.
Hey, happy
How's
Thursday.
everybody doing on this Thursday? Good?
Good.
Good.
Doing well. Yeah, doing great.
I know. I love that sunrise that you showed us this morning from Lake Lanier, Fred. But storms, we got storms
Yeah, it's
every
gorgeous.
afternoon, right?
Welcome to summer.
You have. I haven't.
Yeah. I know. Well, you know what? Even for us, they've been all around us, but not. I'm like, I really could. God, could you
Right.
please water my plants so I don't have to go out and do it? Anyway.
What's going on, Rodney? KG?
Hey, we got a lot going on, and we're talking about, one of the things we're talking about, if you've been in the city of Atlanta recently, you've seen those young people who come up to your car trying to sell you a bottle of ice cold water as it's so hot and steamy out there. It happens a lot right around 17th Street, Atlantic Station, interpasses, by the highways, the interstates. Well, now there's a push to stop them from selling the water at the intersections, and Atlanta police have been responding to complaints of them being too aggressive. There's some cell phone video we have. It shows, they'll ask you if you want the water. They've come up on my car before. They are very aggressive.
Yeah.
And they bang on the windows, and 5 or 6 of them will come up at a time. What do you guys think about this? Should they be forced off the corners, not allowed to do this?
Well,
one city councilman says this is how they're helping pay for, at home, help raise money for their families.
Yeah, but Karen, are we going to hear that sound from
Probably not. So.
City Councilman? Okay, so let me just say, yesterday, you mentioned 17th Street. This happened to me yesterday. I was driving home, and they were standing literally in the middle of 17th Street. And as I was driving up, I thought, are they going to move? Are they going to get out of the way? And I thought, somebody's going to get hurt here. Somebody is not going to be paying attention. Somebody is going to run into one of these people. And I just think it's dangerous. Not, on that end.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's right by you, Rodney, right by your house at Atlantic Station. Fred, you don't get out. You're quarantined, so you wouldn't know what it's like to drive around.
Well, okay, so right? But the times that I have, 285 at Memorial, so that's the closest exit to where I am in DeKalb, and there have been some out there, some kids out there selling water right at that intersection, and my personal experience with them has been that they haven't been very aggressive at all, that they're only out there when the light is red, and then they're right back on the sidewalk when that light turns green. Also, I've seen them heading into North Decatur as well at some intersections there, and for the most part, pretty respectful, just kind of holding up the bottles like, hey, you want a bottle of water? And not banging on any windows. So my experience with it hasn't been bad at all, other than every time that I actually want a bottle of water, I get a green light. I don't
Well, I will say, and we all call them kids, they're like teenagers. They're not small children.
Right.
Yeah, young teens from what I've seen in my area, 13, 14, 15-year-old.
Exactly.
kids.
All right. Well,
Those are
that
kids
may
to
be
me.
something they vote on when they come back from recess at Atlanta City Hall.
Have you seen him, Rodney?
Yeah, and Karen mentioned this, but it's pretty close to near where I live, and I actually see the aggressiveness. I would, though, divide it into 2 different categories based on my experiences. For me, the overwhelming majority of kids or teenagers, they're just, that's what I think, they're just kids, and they are polite. And so in that regard, that doesn't really bother me. As a kid, I don't know about you guys, but I remember going out, not necessarily doing like water on intersections, but we would
you're
have
an entrepreneur.
well, no, let's say you have a school project. We would do this. You'd have a school project where you're raising money, and so you'd go out and in the parking lot, not really on random roads, but in a more organized area. So I guess my point is, for the overwhelming majority of my experiences, if they're kids and they're organized and they're polite, it never really bothers me. I just say they're just kids. But in this case, if you got people running out on the road and actually causing a disturbance, then obviously that's too much. That video was unbelievable. When I
That
saw
was crazy, because
earlier
I haven't
this morning.
seen that. We used to do the, we'd make a sign about a car wash. That's probably what you were talking about, Rodney, like when you were little.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Like
we used to do car
washes and stuff
washes
like
in
that.
parking lots
Exactly.
and stuff, yeah. But this is something the city council may be taking a look at very seriously.
We have Michael who says, take the kids off the streets. You have TC who says, let the kids take the chance and sell the water. I learned a business job on a site when I was 7. says he's 74 now.
Wow.
Ty says they're not salesmen. Gail says, please stop this. I feel like it's not safe and too much litter is left behind, says Gail.
Yeah.
So I think Fred.
I've seen a couple of
like mixed reactions.
I've seen a couple of comments too talking about possibly like creating some kind of a training or a licensing sort of thing for it, which is an interesting different take on it. But yeah, I mean, it depends, I guess, on how it's being done. Like I said, from what my experience has been, that they haven't been out there while the light is green, but that video clearly shows otherwise, and that's just a different scenario there. So I just hope that next time that I'm sitting there at a red light on a 95-degree day and I realize I don't have any water, that light actually stays red long enough for
you to get it. Okay.
You saying your timing is bad?
Hey, this is one that Rodney.
It's not good.
I think Rodney likes this one. Getting a ticket to see the Falcons just got a whole lot tougher because of the pandemic. The club sent out a letter to season ticket holders outlining a plan saying that there's going to be limited capacity of 10 to 20,000 for home games. The stadium can hold more than 70,000. So if you want to see a game, if you want to go to a game, you're going to be asked to prioritize which of the first 4 games you'd like to see. And then in October, they're going to send out a second survey that'll go out for the final 4 games. The NFL also says that you will have to wear a mask.
So 2 questions with this.
Yep.
With all the other major leagues like baseball, MLB, and NBA basically saying no fans, is it a good idea? Do you guys think it's a good idea? If you're listening to us on Facebook, do you think it's a good idea to allow fans into these stadiums? And then B, would you go under a social distance scenario? We talked yesterday about shopping and like Black Friday. Now we have a new scenario where they're trying to do their best to make it to where you're as safe as you can be. But would you actually go to an NFL game at reduced capacity?
No.
You said no right out of the gate?
No.
Gravere can't go to Chick-fil-A.
I can, as long as I hide the bag from my husband. I went to Chick-fil-A and he's like, what do you mean you went to Chick-fil-A? Do you not realize we're in a pandemic? He's just trying to keep the family safe. He loves his girls, so I can respect that.
Oh.
But,
So you're not going to go in the box with us, Gravere, when we go, huh?
I'm in a box.
So
See me?
it's
I'm
different.
in a box right
Yeah,
now.
Okay, so no? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'd go. I think,
I'm going.
yeah.
Right?
As long as you're social distance, why not?
And everybody's screaming and yelling and all the air and...
You have on a mask. You
Yeah.
have to wear a mask.
That's
I
going to be a
know.
trip. That's
Yeah.
what I like. You're at a football
You wear the
game
mask, and
you're-
it's also 10,000 to 20,000 people spread out
Right.
over
You won't be
the
next to each other.
entire stadium. So don't think about it if you are going, wow, that would be great, because you could still have a ticket way up in the nosebleeds because everybody is going to be way spread out. So there will be people up in the back
Well, that's
top
true.
row there,
That's
even though
true.
there's only
We're gonna
12,000
drag her
people in the
with us.
entire
Listen.
And I'm on the side. I
I
definitely
hope
would
that
go.
there's, should have shrimp cocktail in the box, Karen, right? You're taking care of that for
Yeah,
us, as
yeah.
well as unlimited beverages.
Gotcha taken care of.
And I didn't mention that football's not my favorite sport anyway. Baseball I love. Football, I can, take it or leave it.
Right.
Well, we're just glad that sports are coming
Yeah,
back because
exactly.
it's been such a tough haul. And it's funny, I was looking at, Trevor had signs, like baseball, he had, dog pictures and pictures of friends. That's what's going to be in the stands for these baseball games. So it's
Right.
got to be hard for those guys. At least, the NFL will let some fans be in the stands, hopefully, before it's all over.
And Dr. Fauci is going to throw out the first pitch at the Nats game today, which is kind of cool. He's a national celebrity these days because we see him on TV talking about the pandemic every single day, and he's a big Nats fan. So anyway,
Nobody's commenting on this. They're all still talking about water.
Everybody's on that water story.
Still talking about the water,
And they're
right?
great
Yeah, no, they are
comments.
definitely talking about that.
Yeah.
And the Karen, you mentioned the fact that there's no fans in the stands, but then I think about, just those guys play the sports because they love the sports. They love the competition. So there are soccer leagues with old guys like me playing in them, and there's nobody watching those. And we get competitive. We enjoy it. So you're talking about professional athletes that will be out there. I think that they're there for the competition more so than for the fans. So I expect that our baseball season and football and basketball, if they all happen, will be competitive and will be good to watch.
And we've heard them say, though, they need sometimes when it's a close game, they need to hear the fans cheering them on to help push them, over. So they said they're going to pipe in fan sounds, some fan noise. Stadiums. Yeah.
We got Paula here who says, going back to the water story, I know that they are trying to make a few bucks, but it's dangerous weaving in and out of traffic. Maybe find a better summer job. Paula kind of, going both sides. Gail says, saw a young man doing this over the weekend and he stayed in one spot. He only left to get more water out of his cooler, and she says basically she'd rather see them doing this than, you could be doing worse stuff. So just a few more of the comments.
I think the mayor is trying to set up an advisory council
Yes.
to look at like youth entrepreneurship within the city limits to try to help them figure out maybe a better way to do it.
And with the pandemic, there aren't a whole lot of summer jobs out there. I mean, some
Right.
said, on the comment, they could mow lawns or do some other things. But, it is trying to raise some money to help out at home. I'm sure everybody out there has had some type of summer job where you've done something like that, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Just be safe out there. That's the biggest thing.
All
We
right,
can't
everybody.
wait for our box.
Have
told
a
you,
great Thursday.
I'm looking down at you right now. You're in a box.
We'll
Yes,
see
the
you
other
back
box.
here. CBS 46 Morning News.